Yo, what's up guys? I'm bringing you an updated Magicka DK build for the Shadow of the Hist update. So let's get right into it. Alright, so first off we're a high elf. Your options are high elf and Breton. Those are pretty much your two choices. I wouldn't really take anything else. So 64 points in a Magicka, and we run the Apprentice Mundus, increasing our spell power, and Tri-Stat Food. Now, our gear. So we have 2-piece Molakina. Try to get in pen on these. If not, infused and defines is fine. Then we have 5-piece Magnus in heavy armor, with in pen on all of them, and try to get tri-stat enchantments if you can. And the head and shoulders are light and medium. Doesn't really matter which one is what. Just one piece of medium, one piece of light. Now the Magnus is kind of it's a weird set for the Magicka DK that's running heavy armor, but it has its purpose. It helps that it's craftable, so you can get the impen, and the max magic is nice, the recovery is nice, and the spell damage is nice, and it goes along well with Malakina and spell damage enchants, so that extra 130 spell damage is nice. But also, we don't run really high recovery. It's decent, but we don't run extremely high recovery, and so the chance to negate the cost of a spell is very nice because a lot of our defense and survivability comes from offense. So the more offensive we are, the more we're likely to survive. So that that chance to negate costs is really nice because with this, the fights are going to last a long time, and over a long period of time, all these cost negated spells are really going to add up, and it's going to end up saving you. So yeah. Then we have 3-piece willpower, all with Magicka recovery. If you feel really comfortable, like if you try this build out and you feel really comfortable with the recovery, which technically I wouldn't, but if you could, you could put like more spell damage here. It's up to you. Then we have 2-piece Tauros Pact, sharpened on the sword with a spell damage enchant. Then Tri-Stat again with impen. On the back bar, 2-piece of Tauros Pact as well, with defending, and then a damage shield. Then impen again with the Tri-Stat. Alright. And now you have one extra option instead of Malakina. So Malakina is more of an offensive thing, and this build is set up a specific way that you could try to burst on your opponents as a Magicka DK. It makes it actually doable, but it's just hard to use. If you want to be a little bit tankier, you could just use Blood Spawn instead. So yeah, those are your options. Okay, so our skills. So our first skill on our first bar is Flame Lash. Flame Lash is really good. That actually is a decent tooltip and just powerful. Plus it can heal you. It's quite nice. So if you look, targeting on off-balance enemy changes his ability to Power Lash. So a lot of your abilities set people off balance. It's heals and does quite a bit of damage, so it's quite nice. Then we have Invasion as our gap closer. Then Burning Embers for our dot. Draw Essence, so we use this for healing and AoE. So when you're just getting beat on by people, you can use this for a good heal. That's what I said before. Going offensive on this build is actually what it keeps you alive. Then we have Choking Talons for another dot plus the reduced damage of the enemies attacking you. Then we have Ferocious Leap on the back on this bar, and you can run Meteor. Personally, I like Ferocious Leap. It's a really good way to burst. Now on our back bar we have Dragonfire Scale, black. Then Proxy Debt for when we're just surrounded by enemies. We could use this into our burst. So a Proxy Debt. Let's say you activate a Proxy Debt, you start spamming a few essences, and then right before it goes off, you drop a Ferocious Leap. That's pretty decent burst altogether, and it just like nukes everybody around you. It's quite good. Then we have Coagulating Blood, which is our heal. Igneous Shield for major mending and decent damage shield. And Molten Armaments for major sorcery. And we also have Leap on the back as well. Now, my thought process with the build, and this is why I think it would work really well for most of you guys, is because a big problem that Magicka DKs have is burst, and they're not capable of bursting people down. They actually still want to be tanky. That's where this build kind of is my best attempt to change that. So I'm running the 2-piece Magicka and then the spell damage on the sword. Now, as I can show you here, I'm fully buffed. Here you go. You get 3.5k spell damage, and you already have 39k 39k mass Magicka to begin with. So, as you saw right there, you got a 9.2k Flame Lash tooltip, which allows you to do quite a bit of damage. It's bad part of Magicka is increased cost, but you kind of negate that with the Magnus. Magnus kind of takes some of those things away. Plus, we have decent Magicka recovery. And since we're in heavy armor, we have the Constitution passive, which my thought process there as well is pretty much as you're being attacked. So the way recovery works is it's every 2 seconds. So like let's say you have 1,500 stam recovery, you get 1,500 every 2 seconds. So with Constitution, my thought process is just split the 4 seconds in half to take it to 2 seconds. So technically we get around 465 extra stam and Magicka recovery. What that does is puts us over around 2k Magicka recovery and gives us stam back to continue to block. And the heavy armor passives in general are really helpful. So it allows us to be tanky while still doing good damage. So with all Magicka procced and everything, if you could do like a Flame Lash heavy attack with a proxy det and a leap, you will burst somebody down. That is completely doable. It's not just like a lot of DK builds where it's up to people making mistakes. It really is up to you. If you can actually burst out people with this build while still being taken. That's what makes it nice. Alright, so champion points. So we have 100 in the Arcanist. We're actually going to Magician, kind of negate Magicka, and just increase our stain. Then we have 100 in Elemental Expert. I guess you could put the rest into Elfborn or Thaumaturge, as up to you. Then you'd want 50 into Hardy, 50 in Elemental Defender, and then 77 into Resistant. And that is the CP. So, I think I covered everything, guys. If you have any questions on the build, just ask it in the comments. And if you use the build, tell me how it goes. So, thanks for watching, guys.